My name is Valerie Tucker Williams. July 30th, 2008, my life was forever changed. A customer entered the store and went to the refrigerated cooler and got a soda. He brought it to the counter and sat it down. He then pulled out a 9mm. The store clerk put his hands up, but without a spoken word, the perpetrator shot him. He fell behind the counter. The perpetrator reached over and shot him 3 more times, then went around the counter, took all of the money out of the register, and exited the store. The perpetrator came back, stepped over the clerk, got a pack of cigarettes, and left the store for the last time. I believed in capital punishment up until this time. What changed my heart was that the perpetrator was my son. Some years earlier, my uncle had been killed, and I felt that the perpetrators should see the same fate that he saw, that they should have capital punishment. But when it came to my son, I wrestled with that decision up until the time that they sentenced him. I had to step outside of the situation and say, if the roles were reversed, what will I want? I too want justice for Mr. Patel. But is justice taking a life for a life? How does the death penalty affect the families of the victims, the families of the perpetrator, and those that are charged with the execution? My son ended up with life plus 25. The thought of him being on death row still haunts me to this day. I often think of Mr. Patel and those that he left behind: a wife, 2 children, and his mother. What do some of the victims say about this? The victim's family say about this death penalty? Dawn Mancarella, mother, was killed, and she said, the death penalty doesn't bring justice or closure to the families. They have to relive the death of their loved one years later through the appeals process. It is the opposite of justice and closure. Jennifer Limmerman lost her brother during the Boston Marathon, and she writes, I can't imagine killing in response to killing would bring any kind of peace or justice. Orlando and Phyllis Rodriguez lost their son to violence, and they said, we can understand why the victims would want the death penalty, but killing is wrong. Nothing can erase the pain or loss that we have to learn to live with. Causing pain to others only makes it worse. No one really thinks about the perpetrator as someone's child. They only see his act of violence, the act of violence that he has committed. The families of the perpetrator carry shame and guilt, and it isn't even theirs to bear. They had nothing to do with the crime, but they bear it anyway. The family grieves with the family of the victim that lost their life. The perpetrator's family grieves. The perpetrator's family also grieves for the perpetrator. The agony that the perpetrator's family faces while their loved one sits on death can never be replaced. Traumatized, someone's